Okay, so remember, don't go gingerly yet.
Yes.
Wait till the occlusal outline's done. Okay? So let me see. So your facial margin should be way out farther facially. Way out here. Your facial clearance right now is pretty much 0. And look at the wall height at the marginal ridge. It's super, super short. Your pulpal floor is rising as it approaches the marginal ridge, so you have no wall there. You're leaning your burr lingually instead of keeping it vertical. Now look in the monitor. Okay, so you can see exactly what I'm showing you right here. So I'm looking along the central groove. And then when I get over here next to the marginal ridge, I'll look this way. So I know where I am and I know how tall the wall is. That's how we get control over that area. Okay? Position the wall wherever you want, but lean the burr toward the marginal ridge. So back and forth like that, but make sure the wall's just a little shorter than the burr. Then when you come back to the middle of the contact, you're in control. Then you got to find your facial margin way out here. Again, look this way to see, now you know you're going to get clearance there, right? That's what you have to be looking for. Then you find your angle, then you get the length. So go back to the occlusal, see if you can do a little bit more on that, and then when you go gingerly, it's going to be way easier. Okay? That's what makes the difference. Okay, so you're just getting started here.
Yes,
but you're shifting lingually here. So let's start the central groove about right here.
Okay.
And keep it about in that position. Okay. But notice the way I'm looking along the central groove so I can see where the where I'm putting the isthmus. Then look this way when you get close to the marginal ridge, so you can see where you're putting the dovetail. Again, you really concentrate on what it is you need to see each step of the way, and you never get so far lingually over here. Then go to the middle of the contact, and then find your margins. Okay, but now we have the pulpal depth. Okay. I should say the pulpal floor position. Okay? All right. Let's get your patient. Let's raise this up. Get the patient more in the reclined position. Okay. Okay, so really shallow so far. You might want to bring the chair around to my other side so you can see the monitor better. So you're really shallow. See that? You have no wall there. So let's get deeper right from the very beginning through the isthmus. Then when you get close to the marginal ridge, look this way so you can see how tall the wall is when you're making it. And then get the dovetail, go a little deeper pulpally. There we go. Now we have the isthmus and the depth the way we want. Then cut to the middle of the contact, way over here. So see, now I am close to the middle of the contact. Then with the burr really close to the adjacent tooth, find your margins and your angles. Okay? And only at that point will you be ready to go gingerly. All right, keep working on it. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look. So at the marginal ridge, you have the burr leaning this way instead of toward the marginal ridge. Okay. So again, look along the marginal ridge, then you can see what direction you're leaning the burr. Again, when I look down the axis, I want to see that wall, but you got a fair amount of undercutting there. And then in the isthmus, you're pretty wide, huh?
Yeah.
So look this way so you know how wide you are when you're doing it. Okay? Go directly to the middle of the contact, which is right here. Go there, and then find the margin facially all the way out here. Make sure you know that you're going to have clearance before you stop extending facially and lingually. Now lingually, you could have had the margin right here. That would have been fine, but then 90 degrees would be in like this. So right now you're looking at a lot of undermined enamel on the lingual because you went too far lingually with your isthmus. Okay, so make a margin here, cut in 90 degrees as much as you can, and make sure there's no undermined enamel. Then you can make your 90 degree angle here, and then you'll be ready to go gingerly. Okay? It's really critical how we do that occlusal outline. Okay. Let's see how things are happening here. I'm going to drop your patient back a little bit more. I'll drop your patient down a little bit too. Okay, so you got your dovetail sort of more going lingually than buccally, right? See in the monitor? Yeah. And your wall's still a little bit on the short side, so keep the isthmus narrow by looking the way I am now along the central groove. Then you can see how close you are to the marginal ridge, and then lean the burr toward the marginal ridge and go back and forth parallel to it. Get the wall height the way you want. So it probably would have been best going out facially a little bit more instead of lingually there. Now the middle of the contact's here, so once you finish the central groove, you go right directly to the middle of the contact. And then from there you find the margins facially and lingually. You had a little damage on this tooth before. Nothing's going to get in the way of our prep here. But make sure that when you do preps that you have a good contact and no damage on either tooth. Is ideal, but anyway, the prep's going to be a little bit beyond where those damaged areas are. So now nip out and find your facial angle margins and your angles and take it from there. Okay? I'll come around again in a few minutes and see.
Too wide.
Too wide in the isthmus?
Yes.
Facial lingually?
Way too wide.
Yeah, a lot of people do. And again, you have to figure out, well, why did I make it that wide? How come I didn't know I was making it that wide while I was doing it? So look this way when you're doing it. See on the monitor? Yeah, so just use your mirror and look along the central groove.
Okay.
And then when you get close to the marginal ridge, look this way. So you can see the height of that wall. And right now, it's getting taller because your wall was pretty short. Sometimes when the walls are short, we tend to overextend because the walls are so short they don't prevent you from slipping and cutting too far. So keep the walls taller from the beginning. Get the pulpal floor the right position, the right level from the beginning as much as you can. Again, notice I'm changing my viewing direction. I'm looking along the central groove, I'm looking along the marginal ridge, I'm looking along the contact. You can look over there so you can see what I'm showing you and how I'm doing it, how I'm seeing it. Now you can nip out facially, but you're going to have to go quite a bit farther before you're going to get some clearance out there. So go out to about here. Lingually, you should have come to about here and then come in 90 degrees. The problem is, of course, you overextended lingually on the isthmus. So that forced you to undermine a lot of the enamel here. So you're going to have to go out and get overextended on the margin and then come in 90 degrees this way so you don't have any undermined enamel. Okay, so see if you can do some more work on that occlusal. Okay?
So initially, like right with the first cut, I want to go the entire length of the burr.
Most of it. Most of it, yeah.
Okay.
And then you're like, then by the time you get to the marginal ridge, if it's a little short, you go a little deeper, then you come back. But don't make it too short, and then, like much too short, and then leave it that way, and then try to do the rest of it.
Yeah, because I was trying to increase the height, like the depth of it, and then that just overextended, like, because I was trying to get more.
Yeah, the place where you're going to measure the height of the walls is not where the triangular ridges are, where you overextended. It's at the marginal ridge. Get the height there, then come back just right through the central groove. So we're always looking along the central groove, so you know you're not making the isthmus too wide. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. No prep.
I did this on left side, sorry.
Yeah, see, 5 is on the right side in this country.
Okay.
Okay, so you start on the, which one are you doing?
5, number 5.
That's actually number, that's, well, I know,
Yeah.
you mean 12 or 13?
Yeah. 14, 13, 12.
12, okay, the first premolar. Okay, so let's take a look. So your height of the wall of the marginal ridge, almost enough. Well, let me see, now that slipped down a little bit farther, that's pretty good. And lean the burr a little bit more toward the marginal ridge. Get the floor flat right to that wall. But mostly you're pretty close in that area. It's a little bit big through here, but not terribly far off. You're going to need to get keep this pulpal floor level all the way to the facial margin. This burr seems like it's getting a little bit dull now. Whoops, yeah, it's slipping around. So we don't want to be using dull burrs if we can help it. So you have more of the 330 burrs. You didn't get the kit, did you?
No, I want this.
Yeah, and that has this burr in it.
Yeah, 330 ball.
Yeah, but you're going to need more of them. So that's why the kit comes with 2 extra 5-packs of the 330 and the 55. So, but we'll just switch to the 55 for a moment. Okay, so yeah, right next to the adjacent tooth, come out facially, very carefully. So you got to get the margin out where you want it. Now lingually, you want the margin out to about here. And then you'll be able to cut a nice 90-degree angle inward and get a reasonable clearance. So there's your clearance, here's your angle, but again, trial and error in each of those areas. And over here, once you know you're going to have clearance at the margin, then cut straight in. There's your angle, then make the curve here. Then you can find the corners here and here. And then cut away from those walls, and then you get the shape of the axial wall. Then it's going to come along all right.
Okay.
Okay, so keep working on that
I
one.
just need to connect this 2 dots and deep on that area
Yeah,
to
so
the
cut away from
inside.
the facial wall and away from the lingual wall. Then get rid of the excess and do that enough times until you get gingival clearance. Okay, cool. Not too pleased about how it's going, huh?
No.
Okay. Well, it's been a year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Brazil used to use the 1 through 32 numbering system?
Yes.
Like 30 years ago or something?
No. I've learned like 11, 21, 31, 41.
41?
Yeah, 41.
Where's 41?
41 is for the incision.
Oh, 4-1. Oh, yeah, that's right. 4-1, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the quadrant numbering system. But I thought they used 1 through 32 at one point, like back in the 90s.
No.
You never did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I learned.
Yeah, I thought that was the only other country that did. Now, you're not supposed to go gingivally quite yet. Okay? But anyway, yeah, you got too close to the marginal ridge, but then you sort of made a different wall here. That's a much better position. So again, make sure you're leaning your burr toward the marginal ridge. So lean it toward the marginal ridge, and then get your wall height. But you got the right idea there. You just when it was shallow, when it was short, it's easy to cut too far, which you did. So look this direction when you're doing the isthmus. So the width is not too bad. It is actually too deep, but now you don't really have nice facial lingual walls here. So make them really nice before you try to go gingivally.
Okay.
So find the margin, find the angle, get the length, make the curve. And then you can find the corner of the box. And then get rid of the excess along that wall. We'll use the 55 burr for everything gingivally. And then use the hand instrument to get rid of the hook and to sharpen the corners. But you're off to a reasonable start. Okay, so finish this one up with the 55 burr and then with the hand instruments. And then go over here and start on
this one.
12 deal. Yeah. But make sure you finish this one completely first, every step of the way, including the retentive grooves.
Okay, so which board do you think? The 50?
Yeah, 55 burr you're going to use to go gingerly and
Okay.
to do everything below the pulpal floor.
Okay.
Okay?
If I have only the option for 330 or 245 in the bench test, so what should I do in this case?
Well, when you're doing the box, you use the 245,
Okay.
and it's going to leave a big hook at the gingival margin. Use the 330 burr to try to remove some of that hook before you use the hand instrument.
Okay.
Okay? Try to get the gingival floor as flat as you can all the way to the margin. However you do it. The 55 burr is perfect for that.
Okay.
If you don't have one, do whatever you have to do to get rid of all the excess at the gingival margin so that when you use the gingival margin trimmer, you don't break a big piece off.